And so when you are going throughout your day, whenever you hear your pastor talking about God's calling on your life, don't wait for all the information to come to you. It's never going to happen. God wants you to live by faith. And here's the other thing too, is that when you do that, when you live by faith, when you lean onto God's understanding and not our understanding, this is what's going to get us closer and closer and closer to God. You see, if it was up to you to figure it out, if it was up to you to plan it, if it was up to you to figure out how every piece of the puzzle was going to come together, then we wouldn't rely on God for anything. We would rely on ourselves for everything. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Seth, and this is a little bit of faith back at it again with another video, this time going further into the story of Noah's Ark.
Wait till I get going! Where was I?
Now, I'm going to pick up exactly where we left off last week. If you didn't see that video, the link is right up top for you to click on, and I'll take you right there. But we're going to go ahead and continue. Now, the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all the people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I'm surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood and make rooms in it and coat it with a pitch outside and out. This is how you were to build the ark. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Make a roof for it, leaving below the roof an opening 1 cubit high all around. Put a door on the side of the ark and make it lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the ark 2 of every living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird, of every kind of animal, and every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to carry every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for you and for them. Noah did everything just as God had commanded them. All right, so this is where most of us know the story, and that is Noah building this ark. Now, I want you to just pause for just a moment and think about this more practical way. Again, as we learned last week, Noah is an everyday guy. Noah's a guy who's just like myself, who's just like you. This is a very big job that God is asking him to do. He says, hey, I want you to go, and I want you to build this boat. And as we talked about very, very, very briefly last week, this was the first time that a boat had ever been talked about. No one at this point had ever heard of a boat or even knew what a boat was.
As I told you, it would be absolutely, totally, and in all other ways, inconceivable.
So when God goes to Noah and says, I want you to build a boat, this is a new invention. This is a whole new thing. And he says, I want you to build it exactly how I'm going to tell you I want it to be built. And the thing is that when he says he's going to flood the world, again, this is a new thing for Noah. Noah has no idea what this means. Noah has no idea what is to come.
See you up there. What are you doing? Oh, hey. Hey, guys. Don't act like you didn't just see us. I don't know. I just giving you down a little bit of rain. It's kind of like a lot of rain, though. Like it's raining for a few days here. It's kind of pooling up down here, God. I don't know if you intended that.
He is completely left in the dark, even though God has given him all the information. Now, and this is what I want to bring up today. And that is this, is that when God calls you to do something, he's not going to give you all the information that you need in order for you to know exactly what you're doing. And there's a reason for this. Number one, if he did tell you, you still wouldn't really know.
Hey guys, Gamer right here joining you. I'm going to show you how to do a summary with Q. That's how you do it. Thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.
There are all kinds of places all throughout the Old and New Testament where God and Jesus just lay it out for someone. They just tell everyone all the information that they need to know, and the person, it just stands there in complete confusion like, okay, what the heck does that mean? That's because as human beings, we don't have the mind of God. We cannot sit back and think the way that God thinks. We cannot live the way that God lives. We can't comprehend how God does anything.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes.
Morons.
Therefore, when God is telling us to do something, we just have to live by faith. We have to remind ourselves that he is God and we are not, and that he is the one who has the plan, not us. And that even if things don't make a lot of sense, even if things kind of seem kind of fuzzy, it's going to be clear as we go along the journey.
I'm not alone.
And so when you are going throughout your day, whenever you hear your pastor talking about God's calling on your life, don't wait for all the information to come to you. It's never going to happen. God wants you to live by faith. And here's the other thing too, is that when you do that, when you live by faith, when you lean onto God's understanding and not our understanding, this is what's going to get us closer and closer and closer to God. You see, if it was up to you to figure it out, if it was up to you to plan it, if it was up to you to figure out how every piece of the puzzle was going to come together, then we wouldn't rely on God for anything. We would rely on ourselves for everything, and that's not what God wants us to do. In fact, there's a fantastic verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 1 where Paul says, "We felt we had received the sentence of death, but this was so that we would stop relying on ourselves and rely on God who can raise the dead." This is just Paul's way of just literally saying the things that happen to us for the sole purpose that we stop relying on ourselves and rely on God who raises the dead. Noah had a huge job ahead of him. Noah had a huge job, a bigger job than I could even fathom. But the reality was that God was saying, don't rely on yourself, rely on me. I'm the one who already has this figured out. I know what kind of wood this ark needs to be built as. I know how many stories it needs to be. I know how big it needs to be. I know the dimensions of the door. I know everything you need to know about this boat. I just need you to go and actually do it. And the thing is that guess what? It didn't happen overnight either. This was a calling that took years. We're talking a long time.
I am old.
How old are you?
16! And my grandmother.
The Titanic has nothing on the ark. This took a long time. And I'm sure there were many times that Noah just wanted to give up. And there were plenty of times that he walked past his buddies who were like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm going to go build an ark. You're like, okay, are you still on about that stupid ark? Why are you going and building it? Oh, you're going to rely on God? Oh, okay. The reality is that guess what? That's what Noah was in for. Noah was in this for a long time. And if you're going to be used by God, it doesn't happen overnight. His calling lasts a lifetime, and it's going to take you places that you never expected. It's going to be sometimes hard. And the thing is, I'm sure that Noah every single day wanted to quit. I know he probably wanted to quit. I mean, it's a long time, but he stayed with it. He stuck with it because he realized and he knew that this was not his calling. This was not what he wanted to do. This is what God wanted to do.
We're on a mission from God.
And God was able to use him. And look, if you get to the end of the story, you know, even though it's a little rough in the middle, the end of the story is that guess what? He saves not only himself, he saves his family, and he restores humanity all over again. And God did, in fact, use him for a very big purpose. And he can do the same thing with you too. All right, guys, this is another episode of Have a Little Bit of Faith. Listen, we have had some critics. We've had some people who've gone on this page and bashed us. I just want to go ahead and just say, listen, if you watch this video and you absolutely hated it, I still love you. I still want to hear from you. I still want to connect with you. So go ahead and just privately message me at any one of my links up here, and I would love to connect with you, talk to you. If you have questions, I'd love to debate with you. I just want to connect. If you love this video, go ahead and share it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. There's all kinds of good content for you to dive into here on the Faith Presbyterian Church YouTube channel. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. I hope your Thanksgiving was great, and I'll see you guys next week for another installment of the Have a Little Bit of Faith. All right, guys. Bye.